Hello and welcome to another edition of Community Connection. I'm Susan Casper. A movement is sweeping the country to stop the trauma of divorce. In the U.S., about half of all marriages will end in divorce or separation, leading to many parents being erased from their children's lives. The Erasing Family documentary, it follows young adults fighting to reunite with their broken families. I sat down with one of the filmmakers who wants to let children of all ages know they are not alone and help is available. Divorce is devastating.
My parents got divorced when I was only 13.
The ripple effects can be detrimental, especially for children.
The divorce itself wasn't what was traumatic. It was the fighting over custody, the fighting over money, which lasted until I was 18 years old.
Ginger Gentile, director of the documentary Erasing Family, is using her pain to shed light on the ugliness of divorce.
My story is not as horrible as a lot of the stories I captured in the film.
As a conflicted teen, Ginger remembers frequent court visits and being asked to choose sides.
But I always think if this small, what's considered a normal part of divorce, impacted me so profoundly, for the kids who have a loving parent erased from their lives, it's 10 times worse.
I haven't seen my two sons, who are 14 and 11, in approximately 2 years.
According to recent polling, 22 million parents in the U.S. report being erased from their kids' lives. No holidays, no birthdays, no phone calls. Ginger has spent nearly 5 years researching the trauma on children and other family members.
I have seen my daughter for approximately 6 weeks in the last 15 years. What did I miss out on the most? Special events, holidays, and all that, but mostly just life happening.
I've been erased for almost 3 years now. I have an 8-year-old daughter. I've missed 2 birthdays. I've missed countless events, daddy-daughter time.
This is entirely preventable. Children don't have to suffer and be traumatized from divorce.
This isn't a father's rights issue. It's not a mother's rights issue. It's a human right issue.
My goal with the Erasing Family documentary is to start a dialogue. Right now, when you go to family court, you have to say everything bad you can about your ex-partner, the other parent of your children, to win custody, to win more child support, to win more assets. What we need to do is to get families into what's called collaborative law and mediation, where the emphasis is on creating win-win solutions for the family. What the documentary shows is there's a lot of money in divorce. There's a lot of money in federal subsidies that go to the state to enforce child support. So what if instead of putting people in jail who are too poor to pay child support, we took these billions of dollars to provide therapy, mediation, coaching, classes, free legal aid.
Arizona has earned high marks on a national report card for finding solutions.
The good news is Arizona got an A-, and one other state, Kentucky, got an A, because in 2018, thanks to the work of the National Parents Organization, they passed a law saying shared parenting is the default option. And Arizona is leading the nation in saying kids deserve both parents, and we find that means that many judges are giving what's called shared parenting, where you have parents with equal decision-making power and near equal time with the kids. And the research shows shared parenting is what is best for children, and it's also what's best for the parents, because each parent can go have a new career, develop their life, and share the responsibility.
Ginger hopes more shared parenting stops the shame.
Because people say, well, what did you do that your child doesn't want to talk to you? These parents don't talk about it. And one tool that the documentary Erasing Family has given these parents, and why we have developed such a big community, is we're saying you're not alone. Lots of families are going through this, and while we all make choices and each family dynamic is different, the system is encouraging conflict and making money off of it.
It's such a deep-rooted fear and shame-based type trauma that kids don't want to talk about it.
Michelle Jordan, the documentary's lead fundraiser, is a community impact campaign volunteer, pushing to get this film to a mass audience, including colleges, churches, and family courts.
A lot of these judges have no idea what happens to these families after they leave their courtroom. And we've noticed with our pre-screenings, the same thing with the attorneys, they're somewhat shocked when they see the the effect that these families are going through long term. They don't think about that. There's really no polling done, there's no interviews done, there's no follow-up to say what happens to these families after this custody battle.
Ginger and Michelle have learned the after effect of divorce is having a significant psychological impact.
It's like I realized like it was just tearing me apart.
A lot of the things that we see now, like rises in suicide, rises in anxiety, people that are medicated, those are all symptoms of this underlying problem. And by addressing the problem itself and coming at it in a more positive manner, instead of saying, you know, who's going to be the best parent, how can we help each parent be the best parent that they can be? And when you change that wording and that message, then you open up the opportunity to help people grow through this dynamic instead of just having these poor families blown apart.
Luckily, my parents were able to heal after 20 years, and I'm able to accept them for who they are. And that's my message to kids. It's not saying your parents are perfect. Your parents aren't perfect, no parent is. But by accepting who they are, you can move forward and hopefully not make the same mistakes, because one thing we've also found is that kids who have a parent erased, they're very likely to either become an erased parent themselves or erase the other parent or reject having a family altogether. So we need to stop the cycle and let the healing begin.
It's been 1 year and 5 months since I have seen my 2 grandchildren. If I got to see my grandchildren, I'd tell them how much I love them, and I'd hold them and hug them just like we used to all the time.
Our goal in the future is that no child has a loving and fit parent or erased from their lives after divorce or separation. And by beginning to talk about this, slowly we can go from having 22 million parents erased from their kids' lives to maybe 10 million, 5 million, like any public health campaign. So there is hope.
So congratulations.
Right now, the Erasing Family documentary, it is only available for community screenings. There will be a showing here in Phoenix on Wednesday, November 20th at Jewish Family and Children's Services. There is limited seating and tickets must be reserved in advance. Email impact@erasingfamily.org for more information. If you are interested in booking a screening, we have that information available to you about the nonprofit on abc15.com/community connection. Join us each month as we hope to inform, empower, and inspire you on another edition of Community Connection. I'm Susan Casper. Thanks for watching.